Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Neo Tokyo's official podcast, Interlinked. Huge shout out to our sponsor, Playable Games. They are inspired by gamers and funded by their community. They have a epic game on the Epic Games Store, a third-person shooter called Nexus. Hop on in there and check that out. They're also currently selling nodes, so if you're interested, check that out at their website, playable.games. That is a 3 instead of a B on Playable. Now strap in for the rest of this episode of Interlink. We are joined today by the inner cabal of Calvin. We've got Leboomington, ChadNFTheGod, and King Tendies. What's going on, guys? Welcome.
What's going on?
Hey, Nick, thanks for having us.
It's another quiet night in the news, just a chill day in crypto. For anyone seeing this recording after, it's Friday, so it's been anything but chill. But I don't know, have you guys been getting sucked into all the news that's going on? I know, Boom, you missed it at least overnight, but Chad and King Tendies, have you guys been following or just building?
Definitely been following. It's kind of unavoidable, but when you start building something that you're passionate about, everything else takes second place. So you just go right back to it. Before, when I was just like a trader, I was constantly enamored by the news, but now I just focus on Calvin and everything else makes sense. So
Yeah,
Love it.
I'm just the keyboard monkey, so I just stare at my IDE all day.
And I'm an artist, so I only really care about pretty colors and fun sounds.
So we shouldn't be expecting any AI generated videos about the Iranian-Israeli conflict from you, Boom.
no.
Our policy is stick to Web3 and fun stuff. There's more than enough people covering the darkness of the world. There's more than enough people trying to bank on the horrors, the sadness, and we're here to empower people to start winning. We're not really interested in being yet another voice talking about war.
Well said.
I love it. So let's dive into it. Let's get a little overview on Calvin, and then let's dive into some of the history of where you guys came from, how you guys got started.
KT, you
Sure.
want to take this?
Absolutely. So Calvin is a project. It's not a meme coin anymore. People call it a meme, but I don't consider it a meme at this point. It provides utility through multimedia entertainment and world-class automated trading. So we are providing a real product backed by a awesome, developing, really, really cool brand that I have personally fallen in love with. It started in a group chat in Telegram in October of 2024. I just brought in a bunch of people that I knew from the crypto world, and we started brainstorming on, okay, let's create a coin and let's try to give some value back to the communities that we are a part of. And we decided on a mascot. And during that time, there was a coin called Terry in the Trenches. And Terry in the Trenches went to a $30+ million market cap within a week. And the founders and the devs were pretty malicious and they just dumped the entire project. But I saw something in that. I saw why so many people got behind it. And it was because they could relate to that character and everybody felt like they were in the trenches in 2024. So I decided to take it a step further. And I thought to myself, well, what is the main desire of almost everybody in crypto? Almost everybody in crypto has, if they've been here long enough, has thought about what it would be like to be on the inside and just get that one win, just get that one friend who told them, hey, you got to put some money in this, you're going to make 1,000x or whatever. And that win is so elusive for 99.9% of people. And I wanted to create that opportunity through that meme. Calvin infiltrates the cabal and he's helping you in the trenches get to where you want to go. So we're all about two things at Calvin. One, providing fun and cool graphics, cool entertainment, cool videos, and helping you actually win in the space.
All right, so let's dive into one thing that jumped out to me there was the decision to add utility to, at least in my understandings in the early innings, was like a pure cut and dry meme coin. So take me
Yes.
through that sort of like decision making. So would love to sort of get like a little bit of a walkthrough of like what prompted that decision, what was sort of the pros and cons of adding utility.
So at first, the vision for Calvin was to be like this funny, cool little mole who would tell jokes, who would roast Coles on Twitter, and give meme calls to his followers. And we first envisioned it as kind of like us producing like high-low videos and him raising a sign that says, "Hey, jump in on, for instance, Trump," let's say, or something like that. And we made a slot bot, and he was posting on Twitter, and we realized that just that wasn't going to work, and it was just a very quick fad that was going to die out, and we wanted to be around for the long term. I was never looking to mass extract. I think so many people in crypto just come in here, they're not serious, and they just try to extract as much money as possible. I wanted to build something that was long lasting, and if you want something long lasting, if you're not Pepe, if you're not Bonk, if you're not one of the 25 meme coins, you're not going to be like large meme coins. You're not going to be around for any substantial amount of time. And really, you're just going to have people dumping on one another. And it's not like an NFT community, like you don't like hold an NFT and then, get the value of a network and get the value of airdrops and stuff. You hold a coin and then eventually you're trying to sell it. And in Calvin's case, we want people to have access to something that is going to make them money for life.
Important to remember also the situation we were in at the time. Meme coin and trench fatigue was setting in after Christmas and December. Trump was a couple of weeks from coming in, and I remember we were having these daily discussions about what's the utility, what can we create, how can we make this stand out and survive and stand the test of time and really give back to community. And I know that in my case, I was still sour over the trading AI Ponzi scheme from like a year before that had been introduced by he who shall not be named. I remember thinking, this is such a good concept, such a good tool. And I've got friends in finance. I know these things exist, but why are they only for banks? Why are they only for hedge funds? Why can't the little people have access to epic trading information and AIs and bots and tools? And why can't they win as well? And as we were talking about it with the rest of the team, everybody was on the same page. Like this is what we need to do. Calvin already kind of had this budding lore of he's against the cabal. He's trying to even the playing field and enable everyone to win. And it kind of made sense that, how do you win? Well, you win by doing better trades. How do you do better trades? Well, you got someone who knows everything, and who knows everything? AI knows everything. And when you think about it now, it's kind of crazy because now everything just feels so right and so natural, kind of like ordained by the universe. But I remember like the first couple of months, like we were talking every day trying to figure out what we're gonna do. And I couldn't be happier the way things have panned out, trying to be cutting edge of AI entertainment and AI trading and trying to create, a brand that lives on forever.
Yeah, so walk me through the utility a little bit. So you hold a certain amount of Calvin that gives you access. Is it like Discord based? Is it Telegram based? Like how does the alpha actually get shared?
So I think I can answer this one. Yeah, it's based on the amount of Calvin tokens you hold, which the smart contract that I developed works in two ways. So it's actually two separate contracts, which was a little bit of a project to figure out how to actually make this work. But so you stake your certain amount of Calvin, which gives you a certain tier of access into Calvin's vault, which will control how much you're allowed to deposit in the vault. So you stake your minted, 1-to-1 staking tokens of Calvin. And then those staking tokens give you access to the vault. And then you deposit USDC into the vault and you get minted vault shares. And those shares, fluctuate in value with the total value of the vault.
And
Nice.
then that value of the vault is based on, are you guys acquiring assets in that vault?
He's trading that money that's in the vault.
Got it. Okay,
Yep.
so Calvin's actually, there's some sort of AI agent that's trading. Now, who built sort of the parameters around that trading bot? Did you guys develop that in-house or find a
I
white
did.
label solution? Oh, okay. Would
Yeah.
love to learn more about that.
No, you
Yeah.
don't.
So,
No, secret sauce.
Secret
well,
sauce.
I mean, I can share stuff that's not secret, but yeah, we'll call it a series of machine learning models that ingest data and output a signal. That signal is then routed to the vault. Everything happens inside the vault. So no money leaves the vault unless it's for a trade. And the actual machine learning models are the only ones authorized to submit a instruction to the vault to then execute a swap.
And then
Also,
is there a
Ray,
thesis?
it's also important to say that we, the team, do not have override access.
We do not. Nobody does.
Only Calvin controls this.
Correct.
Now, that in a best case scenario sounds very good, but that
Well,
also is a little bit terrifying
there
aspect of like, what if something goes wrong?
I do have emergency override to pause operations, to pause the trading bot, but the smart contract will be published publicly for everybody to examine. So you can see in there that the emergency owner, myself, would only have, I can only do a certain number of operations. I can't withdraw anything from the vault. I can't, manipulate the money in any way. The only thing I can do is pause it, and I have upgrade authority just in case we need to, change what tokens we're trading, etc. Things like that for like enhancements in the future. But outside of that, the only operations that can be performed by the emergency owner would be to pause operations. And that's like in worst case scenario, if something was happening that, hey, we need to pause trading operations, everybody can still withdraw their money, unstake their funds, etc.
And I think that that's the key. That's the key bit right there. Is
Yes.
that we cannot rug the project. We physically cannot take that money out. You can only withdraw on a 1-1 basis with your vault shares that have been issued when you staked and deposited USDC. And this is very important because on top of the transparency, there's this added layer of security that we cannot steal from the community. And I think in this day and age, a lot of projects are shady about what they do, and Chad has built something that is straight and transparent.
Then is there an overall like thesis for Calvin? Like what area is Calvin focusing for trades? Is it staying in the meme space?
For now, it is solely large cap coins. For initial proof of concept and also risk, risk controls, because obviously if you're attempting to trade low cap meme coins, there's a lot of risk involved. But and there's a lot that goes into it. Market impact, especially if he's say the vault value is 500 grand, and then each trade's going to be, thousands of dollars. If you're trading large cap tokens with thousands of dollars of trades, it's like you're going to be manipulating that market cap so much that
Low cap tokens.
Yeah, low cap tokens, it's going to have a large impact on the price of that coin. But stuff that's in the billions of market cap or hundreds of millions of market cap, five grand buy, 5 grand sell, like it's not, you don't have as much impact on the market cap of that token.
Got it. And then do those are those trades made public when they are made, or people like following along on what Calvin's trading, or is that somehow opaque?
So whoever's has access to the vault, they'll be able to see whatever he's doing. But people outside, no, they won't be able to see it directly. No.
Yeah, because
Well,
the
is
aim
there
is only to satisfy the stakers.
Yeah, the stakeholders. Yeah.
well, I guess if you guys are willing to spill any alpha, did Calvin buy the dip from this Iranian-Israeli conflict, or did Calvin sit it out?
Well, he's not actually live yet. But he most likely would have. Yes.
You still there,
Uh-oh.
Nick?
Yeah.
Have we lost Nick?
He went to go buy Calvin.
Did you guys ever watch Pantheon?
Sorry about that. I was rushing out to put out that trade. No, my
I was your
Just
comment
copy trading
reminded me.
Calvin.
Your comment reminded me of something, Nick. Have you watched the anime Pantheon?
No, I've literally watched pretty much no animes
All
except
right, so,
for the Dragon Ball
all
series,
right,
and then I've
so
just been drowning in One Piece.
so Pantheon is quite interesting, as in it's not about artificial intelligence, it's about actual intelligence, where basically people's brains are digitized, killed in the process, and they're forcefully made into super AIs, basically. And this obviously goes wrong very quickly, and they start wars basically between different human factions. And your comment made me think of that. How long is it until the US or China has a rogue AI that starts shit?
Oh, well, I think that fear has become much more realistic over the last 10 days. So maybe 14 days, because you've got the Ukrainian attack, which the more details get revealed about that, the more it seems like many of those AIs were powered autonomously. Certainly the ones that lost connection, they were claiming that all the video and controls were going through Telegram. For a live ops exercise inside of Russia, I'm assuming they lost connection with some of those. Um, and so some of those were put on autonomously. You then saw in the early stages of this Israeli conflict, Mossad infiltrating Iran and using autonomous AI to take out their surface to air missiles. So all that being said, autonomous warfare is here. And we saw pretty much the opening act from one nation and then have seen now that be enacted by Israel as well. So, I mean, it's spooky. There's certainly a lot of authority that's now been giving over to these AI actors, and software gets bugs.
It's okay. Calvin will stop them.
Yeah.
So Nick, let's dive into the utility a little more. So one of the things that most people would like to know is, how does profit sharing work? When somebody stakes their Calvin and deposits USDC into the pool or into Calvin's vault, there's going to be a 2.5% deposit fee to enter the pool. And then Calvin takes a top line performance fee of 7.5%. Everything else goes to the people that have deposited money into the contract. So 1/3 of the profits that Calvin takes, so one third of that 7.5%, he buys Calvin back with that. So 50% is burned and 50% is sent to the treasury. So there is a deflationary mechanism for for this profit sharing mechanism that helps all holders, not just the ones that are using the Calvin bot. And 2/3 of the profits go into development, operations, and infrastructure. That is something else that I think is very prevalent, and people should know exactly what Calvin is using those profits for, and it's to help the project.
Yes, cloud servers cost money.
Yeah.
No doubt. I mean, have you guys looked into any of the DePIN offerings for cloud server advice, any of those like scaled solutions, or are you guys going sort of the standard AWS hyperscaler approach?
Yeah, we run AWS. Just one, just from comfortability and experience working with it, and obviously, it's trusted by every single large scale enterprise on the planet. So, it's kind of a no brainer. And, in terms of cost, it's not really any more expensive than any other solution. But obviously, when you're running a trading bot that's running 24/7, and a lot of input output operations per second, you need that bandwidth, you need that robustness that AWS provides. So
No,
that was,
makes sense.
yeah.
Nick, I also want to talk about a lot of our community has asked us, because right now we are exclusively only allowing the whales to use the bot at first. And once the Calvin market cap increases, we will have to adjust tiers so that more people can use it. And that's our overall goal, is to expand growth, right? So we can't just keep it exclusively to whales at some point. Right now, we're going to let them eat first, but eventually we're going to expand it to allow more and more people to use it as time goes on.
Now a word from our sponsors.
What's up, crypto gamers? Shout out to our sponsor, Myria. Myria is revolutionizing Ethereum-based gaming with its powerful L2 scaling solution. Think zero gas fees, instant transactions, free NFT minting, and more. Myria offers a suite of tools that are tailor-built for game development, including game-specific SDKs, a spec'd-out marketplace, Web3 spiked leaderboards, new AI super tools, and more. All this fueled by a fleet of player-run nodes that are a breeze to operate and pump out daily rewards for supporting the ecosystem. Plus, check out Meta Rush, the Battle Royale obstacle runner by Myria Studios, dropping very, very soon.
Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
So a lot of our community wants to know about copy trading. Okay, so we will provide either a third-party tool or an in-house tool to copy trade. That is not obviously as good as the whale pool, because who made more money, ChadNFTheGods or ChadNFTheGods copy traders? A lot of people got burnt because ChadNFTheGod sells first. Some make money, some don't. So we will provide that, but our primary mission and our priority is the whale pool or Calvin's vault, and making sure that they get rewarded for sticking with the project and helping it grow, and helping our floor stay robust.
Yeah, I think that's something that needs to be mentioned. Big shout out to, I'm not going to call them the whales, I'm going to call them the vault keepers, because these guys have maintained the Calvin market cap through this mini bear we went through, started end of January till recently. And these guys stayed true. They trusted the process. They trusted the team while we were out there working and preparing the content and the trading bot. And I gotta say, like, it might not be a big community, but it's a tight community, and these people can be relied on and trusted, and we're very thankful for our community.
I actually do want to shout out a lot of these people by name, because they mean a lot to us. Some are part of the team, some are just whales. But shout out to Goku, shout out to Lumen Lover, shout out to Uliverse, Termite, Zoni, Number 34, Flo, Shane, Game is Game or Kill the Zero, Arsenal Decos, who is also part of leadership, Amons, Fluffy, Fizzy Kiz, D Fresh or Doug, Giga Pepe, Sondre.com, Arby's, Metaverse Sig, Mugusta, Rundy, JMJ, Arnano, Maven, Crypto Degen Fi, Crypto NFT Maniac, Blackstar, Chandler, Crypto Feral, GoffP, and iDoc. All these guys, they all recruit people. They share us in their real life circles on Twitter constantly. They are day one committed, and I'm so happy to just be part of this community. It is truly a blessing. Could not ask for a better group of guys. So, and gals, if there's a gal in there, but nobody's revealed their gender. So,
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice one of them is called something 34, Rule 34 or something. Do you guys remember what that is?
I don't remember what number 34 is. No,
Rule
enlighten
34.
me.
Oh,
Rule
the movie?
34. If something exists, then porn can be made out of it.
Oh yes, Rule 34. Yeah.
Is that
Uh,
Guardians
hey,
of the
guys.
Galaxy?
Number 34. Do not make porn out of Calvin. Do
do not
porn
make
out of
porn
Calvin.
out of Calvin. That is
It's
a
coming.
big no-no. That is a
It
big
probably
pun
already
intended.
exists.
I shouldn't have
Nobody
said
wants
that.
to see that. Nobody wants to see that.
And now you will. Brought to you by jailbroken Google VO3.
Rule 34.
I'll get the P Diddy baby oil out. I'm ready to go.
No.
Poor Calvin. What was I gonna ask?
Calvin's a top. He's not a bottom. It's fine.
I don't know if you want to be broadcasting that you guys are top.
And edit.
Yeah, and cut.
I might be releasing a host cut of this podcast.
I forbid
on
that.
iMovie.
On X video.
Yeah, exactly.
CalvinHub.com.
But I'd be curious, obviously, when creating a trade bot, that I think there's like only one hurdle that really matters. Did you outperform holding Bitcoin? Because that's sort of like the hurdle for altcoins. So I'd just be curious if you guys were able to either back test the trading bot over the previous couple cycles. Do you guys have sort of numbers that you guys have been sharing as far as potential gains? Obviously, you got to be careful with how that's worded. I would just be curious on how that's being framed.
Insert Chad.
Yeah,
kill it.
absolutely. You know, the real the benchmark for these kinds of things, even, you know, algorithmic trading, machine learning models in trading, really the benchmark for institutions that they try to strive for is 100% annualized returns, which is something that I've been striving to achieve with Calvin, and we, across the hundreds, if not thousands of back tests I've run, Calvin consistently outperforms buy and hold by a large margin, especially in sideways markets, which is where, you know, and even in down markets, because I've back tested periods, you know, certain periods of time just to see how he would perform. And even if buy and hold is negative, Calvin makes money. So honestly, outperforming buy and hold Bitcoin, I honestly don't know, but I would assume that yes, he does. I haven't looked at the numbers of what the buy and hold return on Bitcoin has been over the past, you know, couple of years, but it's probably around that 100% number. But yeah, so 100% annualized returns is what we strive for, and what we've consistently hit over that in back tests. And, you know, the thing with machine learning models is this is getting into some technical weeds, but the thing is they have to constantly be retrained. So I mean, the system is set up every 30 days. The models get retrained on the new data that's coming in. So, you know, they constantly adapt to new market conditions. And I think that's the thing that most people miss about these sorts of things is that, you know, you have to structure it in a way that's adaptable. And, you know, that's what we've done. And I think I have, you know, I might have some screenshots.
Yeah, so I can actually take it from here. So Nick, we actually posted a back test thread on May 28th. Each coin was run through a single 30-day trading simulation using a 10K starting portfolio. And all of this data was entirely out of sample and never seen during training. So for Bonk, we did the 30-day test on Bonk. Total return was 23.2%. Win rate was 84.38%. And it beat the buy and hold by 6.68% in a 30-day period. Fart coin, total return was 49.22%. Win rate was 91.67%. And it beat the buy and hold by 28%. Render, total return 15.67%. Win rate 95.45%. And we beat the buy and hold by 13.43%. Graph or GRPH, not graph. Total return was 127%. Mind you, again, 30-day period. Win rate was 86.21%, and we beat the buy and hold by 136%. Pangu.
I think the audience has like a good feel for like where those are coming from. I definitely appreciate.
Oh, I only had one more.
Also, I will be placing a video of the actual imagery when I edit this.
Yeah, maybe one of those Darth Vader credits or Star Wars credits for all the shout outs in a galaxy far away.
I do want to shout out one more. Pengu. I promise is the last one. Total return 37.61%. Win rate was 84%, and we beat the buy and hold by 29.77%.
Now, Chad, obviously you've got a lot of experience in the like trading bot sector. How do those win rates compare to other trading bots in the space? Like they sound very, very high, based at least on what the big shops do in like brokerage accounts and their quants, which, you know, sometimes are very stoked with like a 55% win percentage.
So it depends on what the model is trained to do. So when you're talking something that's like a lot of those models and algorithms are very high frequency traders, meaning like they're operating on millisecond ticks. And that's where, 55% win rate when you're trading at that kind of frequency. I mean, they're executing hundreds of trades a minute, usually, if not more, across, you know, multiple different assets. But Calvin is not a high frequency trader. Over those 30-day back tests, I think total, you know, round trip trades was like 24. So a buy and a sell equals one trade. So he's not trading, he's not trading at a super high frequency. So that's what allows him to be more accurate on the win rate, or, you know, have a higher win rate percentage. So, yeah, I mean, in production, it's probably not going to be that high, but I'm expecting around 70 to 75%, which is still very, very good. So yeah, I mean, when you're operating on a longer time frame, which I wanted to do because crypto, trading on high frequency in crypto is not it's not as easy as like traditional finance because the infrastructure, the network latency, like you don't have that in crypto. The latency is much greater. You can't really apply the same strategies that you do in traditional finance or traditional trading. So he operates on a longer time frame. One, to capture those large moves, large upswings that happen in crypto. It's like if you're operating on a lower time frame, you're going to miss that. And but we want so he's able to capture those large movements and really capitalize on those large upswings to make money. So yeah, the win rate, that's kind of why the win rate is so high. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. No doubt. I'd be curious, and if this gets into secret sauce category, feel free to defer. But is it purely on-chain data that it's taking in, or is it also scraping things like X?
It's spying on the cabal, man.
We have, yeah, he's spying on the cabal. No, we have we have social data as well. It's not just price movements.
Yeah, the social data I think is one of the most like exciting because obviously the meme space, the crypto space, so much of that goes down on X. I mean, we were talking before the pod on just how, sort of current events will unfold on X, quite a bit before they unravel on chain. So no, I think that's a very, very interesting part of like the trading bot future, and something that probably X is going to heavily monetize, which I think based on their most premium API keys, they are already realizing just how valuable that data is.
Yes, they are.
So we've got about 10 minutes to the top of the hour. So is there anything we haven't gotten a chance to dive into in regard to Calvin that you guys want to open up?
But Boomington, I think you should talk a little more about brand and our vision on where we want to, take the brand.
Yeah, I
So
also just want to add one point. The first edition of Calvin that comes out will be the worst. He's still going to be very good, but there is so much room to grow in terms of improving models, strategies, things of that nature, especially not going to get into the secret sauce, but once once he's on chain and active, the amount of data we will be able to collect to then inform new models will be very, very valuable. So the first edition of Calvin, he will be the worst, but he's only going to get better.
and this is a great segue because what I was going to say is what we're trying to reflect in our lore and our media creation is Calvin's improvement. Calvin started as a confused and scared mole in the trenches, a meme coin. And as he grew, as he learned, as he merged with AI, he became a force to be reckoned with. And he never forgot where he came from, which is the bloody, muddy trenches. And the idea is the people that were in the trenches with him, whether he knows them directly or not, he's bringing them with him. And that's where the trading bot comes in. And so we're creating this lore, but we're trying to run parallel to our world, if that makes sense. And I think that makes for something compelling because when you watch those videos, you feel kindred spirit with it. You're like, I was there, I saw that, I witnessed that, and that's what we want to tell with these stories. First of all, we're trying to be just like the bot. We're trying to be at the cutting edge of video production, using like between King, me, and Arsenal, we have every single AI subscription you can imagine. And we talk every single day about the tech improvements, about ideas, whether they be creative or technical. How can we basically be dark Pixar, and so that's our mission. Our mission is to create this compelling character that lives in a world that you recognize. When you watch those videos, you recognize the events, the people, what's going on. You share some of those emotions. All humans have got this little thing at the back of their head going, is there a cabal? Is everything being controlled? Are the lizard people real? Are the aliens in charge? You know, and so with Calvin, we're going to get to explore all those things, and we're gonna be able to tie reality with this this fantasy sci-fi world of and Calvin he's like the one. He's like Neo. He can jump from world to world. Expect to see Calvin everywhere. There's no community or city or country or world that can resist him. He can go wherever he wants. He's pure code. And so we have infinite stories to tell. And you know, like reality, the trading bot is going to improve, and so Calvin's going to improve. As Chad improves the bot, we're going to tell stories of Calvin's powers growing, and you know he's going to be the mole everybody's rooting for because he's fighting the fight you want him to fight. He's taking on the people who are manipulating markets and stealing your wins, and he's giving you wins. So you know, I hope that makes sense. But the idea is to have both running in parallel. An amazing trading bot that grows and improves, and an amazing multimedia character that grows and improves. And on one hand, you're entertaining, and on one hand, you're enriching people, and you're just making people happy. Just doing a project the way everybody should do a project. Just transparency and for the community.
I love
Well
that.
said. Well said. So I've got a couple things before we wrap up, just to give everybody an update and a little news. So first thing, on June 16th, Ton Station, who we partnered with a long time ago, told me that they are allowing the claim airdrop for Calvin. That when we did a campaign with them, we provided them a certain amount of tokens so that they could give to their community as long as they participated in the campaign. So on June 16th, 129,000 people will be eligible to receive that claim drop. So the second thing is, once the bot does go live on June 21st, we'll be advertising the bot's performance every week on X. So you guys, so people will be able to see what Calvin is doing, and he will speak for himself. Lastly, it is my great honor to announce that we are partnering with Felix Norden's Eden Layer, and we are going to be partners with them, and we're integrating Calvin within the Eden Layer ecosystem. So more of that to be shared coming very soon.
Hell yeah. Well, we're a big fan of Felix on the pod, and obviously at Neo Tokyo as well, and just as a friend. So yeah, great person to have in your corner, especially if you're touching anything AI. So excited to see what you guys have cooking up on Eden Layer. Boom. Piggybacking off the branding and the vision that you shared, there's only one question to be asked as a Neo Tokyo host. When Calvin in game?
um, all in good time. Let's say that you know Web3 gaming will eventually become gaming, but it's going to be a long and painful route, and therefore it's not our immediate priority. Our immediate priority right now is releasing and improving this bot until it's acknowledged as a total game changer, and in parallel producing video content and general media content that has people going, well, that's fucking cool. And that's the initial priority for Calvin. And then, you know, for me, half my life is Calvin and the other half is NT, you know that. And so, you know, people have the NT anime to look forward to. Um, I can leak that we definitely want some Calvin merch, and the next time you see us on the pod, we'll be wearing our Calvin merch, and I'll be in touch with Crasher about that. But for now, that's kind of the scope, because to do things well, you need to stay compartmentalized. So we're going to focus on these few things, do them right, and then later on, we'll get Calvin in GTA 6 or something.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll read
And
between the lines and just assume he'll be a playable character in Bite Ball.
Yeah, if we ever make that game.
Yeah, for the OG NT citizens. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you guys all for y'all's time, sharing what you guys are building here at Calvin. I certainly learned a lot about not only what's behind Calvin, but also, trading bots, and appreciate you guys sharing your knowledge there. And we will be back with another episode in the future. This has been Neo Tokyo's official podcast, Interlinked, joined by the Calvin team. Take care, everyone.
Thank
thank
you.
you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.